Hello. So today I have the pleasure of hosting Ruth. So Ruth is CA All India Rank 1 from the old syllabus for July 2021. And the icing on the cake is not just her credentials on the academic front. It is the fact that she, as a chartered accountant fresher, has grabbed an investment banking job at one of the Ivy League banks, Kotak Mahindra Bank. So welcome, Ruth. I thought that we are going to call you and make you share the story so that the subscribers on this channel might get some concrete takeaways. So welcome, Ruth.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So I'll quickly run through the questions so that people are having. So tell us quickly about your formative years in Mangalore. Born and brought up. How did you choose CA, etc.?
Okay, so I was born in Kuwait and I moved to Mangalore, which is my hometown, when I was 5 years old. I did my schooling from right up to college in Mangalore. And I would say my formative years, I was more of a very extracurricular oriented person. I was an average student, but I was more focused on, I started playing the piano in second grade, things like that. Then in my PUC, I got an interest for commerce, which is when I became more studious naturally because I was very interested in those subjects. And from there, it was my decision whether to do law or CA. And I happened to pick CA and I'm glad I did.
And so why CA amongst all the alternatives for people who are confused between CA and the other choices after class 12?
Correct. So in the direct entry route for CA, you do it after your PUC, right? So that's the route I took. And when I was doing it's called PUC in Mangalore, which is your 11th and 12th. You get to choose commerce, arts, or science. And I picked commerce and I enjoyed the subjects. It was the first time you're studying that, right? In school, we're studying arts and science and all of that. But in 11th and 12th, I picked up on commerce and I wanted to learn more. And I heard that CA is very difficult. And I used to wonder, okay, how difficult is it? And if it's the top in commerce, I want to figure out, I want to see how, what more is there after PU. And that's where I, decided.
And so there were other chartered accountants in your network, in your family, or were you the first one to take the plunge?
Well, my maternal uncle is a CA. But when I was growing up, he was not bothered in my, career choices. I was lucky to have a family who used to say, okay, whatever you're interested in. So the difficult choice was between law and CA. And till now, I'm still a little inclined to law because it's a nice, even CA final, I enjoyed the law subjects. But yeah, so that was how I made the decision. If anyone is confused or after second PU, it's like pick your interest and see where you see yourself in the next few years.
So now tell us about your articleship. So you did your first year of articleship in corporate taxation at EY Bangalore, and then you moved to Vivian Pinto and Company in Bangalore. So tell us about both the big four flavor of articleship, the big four side of things, and how does this impact your academics, etc.
Okay, so I'll first talk about my first year, which was in Ernst & Young in the corporate taxation department. I would say the exposure I got there in that 1 year was, tremendous. I'm very grateful for doing that 1 year. And I can only imagine if you stayed 3 years in a big four, you would, be a seasoned professional at the end of 3 years. But the downside is you're only picking one field. So when I was working at CA Vivian Pinto's office, I got the exposure of audit, GST, and, the other things what a mid-sized firm does. It helps you be a well-rounded article student, in my opinion. And when you study and prepare for your finals, your practical experience goes a long way. So a lot of the theory subjects like audit seem to be dry, but when you have some prior experience, it sort of helps you remember. So I would say, yeah, that's how I would sum it up.
Yeah. And how would the impact on studies which articleship has impacted? Can you correlate what you've done in articleship with academics at CA final level? Does it help to be a specialist? Does it help to be a generalist? Post-qualification, how much was articleship your core focus in terms of the interviews that you faced?
Okay, so I'll be honest here. When you clear your CA and you're going for interviews, having a big four in your resume helps you stand out. But from a student point of view, and something I would advise someone who's studying for CA finals, let's say, you need to be well-rounded, and studying, having practical experience for the subjects you study go a long way. Like, it really helps. So from a job point of view, having a big four is what is like the icing on the cake for your articleship. But as a student, from a studying point of view, I feel like, and it's my belief, that you should know everything. And only then you're in a better position to decide which field you want to take after you qualify.
Fair point. What is the study strategy for CA final, old syllabus? And why were you in the old syllabus? You didn't shift to the new one?
Okay, I'll answer the latter question first. So I had a choice whether to shift or not, and it was a choice I was seriously considering. I mean, I never the reason I'm going to give it might not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but I knew that ISCA is a tough subject, and I started studying ISCA. I started preparing for ISCA maybe from my second year. I would open the book and read. And I was registered in 2017, so I was applicable for the old syllabus. So I was like, I already prepared for this one subject. I know it's very difficult. Let me see and let me take it. And if I know I'm missing out on IND-AS, but I can always do a certification course. And that's something I'm planning to do now. It doesn't sound like a logical reason to many people, but that's what I was thinking.
And ISCA is a nightmare for a lot of people. Quit the old scheme and shift to the new scheme because of ISCA. And for you, it was a reverse.
It was a reverse. And when I was at EVA, I remember my partner was telling me how for his attempts, ISCA was the major reason for, not getting through, things like that. So I used to always think, okay, I don't know, I have a flair for something people say is difficult. And I would say, no, let me find out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that.
And your study strategy?
Yeah, so most importantly, I think the last 6 months before your finals is what really determines, how well you do in your CA finals. I would say what I did was I was familiar with all the subjects before that last 5 months. Okay, so my last 5 months was mostly the first reading, which took the most amount of time. And then I did about 3 revisions after that. So I would say as a study strategy, it would be to do as many revisions as you can.
3 revisions. And did you also do some practicing?
3 plus 1, so that's 4.
And did you do some practicing in terms of mock papers and all? Writing mock papers and stuff?
Well, I just did the Institute's MTPs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it, actually. And I would say, yeah, I mean, subject-wise, everybody knows what's your, you have to figure out what's your strong areas, what's your weak. I found practicals very easy. So it was, I had to spend more time on audit, ISCA, law. Yeah, accordingly, I would plan my studies.
Absolutely. So a lot of people actually find CA final to be very theoretical. So the practical is kind of a cakewalk for a lot of people. And I can relate back because in 2007, when I applied for my CA finals, subjects like accounting and financial management and costing took less time as compared to the others, where one would have to devote a lot of time for the theory. So some rectification is required in CA.
Yeah,
you are good at rectification?
Yeah, I mean, there is truth to that. But also for the practicals, you have to have conceptual knowledge. So there's a mix, I feel, but mostly it tips on memory.
Okay, so All India Rank 1, CA final, very good. But after that, what are the career choices that emerged? And how did you land up with investment banking at Kotak?
Okay, so I think the plus point of being a ranker is that after you clear, you get approached by, various companies invite you to apply for their interview process. You also get approached by job portals, and which is the one that got me into investment banking is CA job portal. I was contacted by Miss Sonia Singhal. So she was the first one. Actually, before that, I got one investment in public equity. And this was the second one, investments, which is investment banking. And this appealed to me more. So I took this further.
And then
Yeah, and the other opportunities would be management consultancy. Then the others, the big fours. The big fours are, I mean, in all areas you're open. There's audit, stat audit, internal audit, taxation. Yeah, just things like that. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Sir, how was your investment banking interview? So what do they ask you in the typical iBanking interview?
Okay, so I had the benefit of the doubt. They knew that I got the rank, and they, like, because of that, I didn't get asked too many technical questions. The questions I were asked, I had an HR round to begin with, which was a 30-minute round. And then I had I had another round for an hour with one of our team lead. So the HR round was mainly, he asked me a few general questions about the market and things like that, just to see if you are aware of what's happening and whether you'd be a good fit for investment banking. The next round was more in detail about knowing your personality and whether investment banking is for you, because from what I understand, it's not for everyone. You have to have certain skill sets. You have to have the interest. You need to be someone who's willing to put in long hours, things like that. So for my second interview, it was mostly questions of like, what motivates you, sort of general questions, but more skewed on the line whether you fit into an investment banking firm. Yeah, and then I was also asked some, analytical questions,
Right.
just general, like if one ship is carrying gunpowder and another ship is carrying ice, which one is more profitable? Like, things like that. It would be a long explanation if I have to tell you, but sort of like case study, to see how your thinking process is. Are you thinking in the right direction? Yeah, so I had like a couple of questions like that. It's something that came on the spot. You tell what you think.
Fantastic. Ship carrying gunpowder vis-a-vis ship carrying ice, which is more profitable from a logistics perspective, right?
Right. Yes.
And they check on your ability to think on your feet. This is not something which memory can serve you.
Yeah, I mean, you can't generally prepare for this. It's something just as an overview, you should know how this industry works, how that, like things like that.
So this
it was a nice interview.
This drives home the point that even chartered accountant freshers who are aspiring for things like iBanking or equity research should get out of that memory focus and also start thinking on their feet. That is something
right, and that's very important. Yes, even for management consultancy, they test you a lot, not in your technical knowledge, not what came in your CA final, but what you imply from what you studied. So, you have to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And how is the initial feel at investment banking? I mean, because that's something which is a dream for a lot of people, especially in the CA front, because it's more usual for these investment banks to go to B schools and higher. So how's that feel?
And actually, when I was in my second year articleship, I used to like check online, how do you get into investment banking and things like that. So I used to be interested from back then. So when I got in, I was recollecting how I used to want to get in, and how that the feeling was really nice, to have done well in the interview, to have been approached, by the right agency. And, it's a little overwhelming because I know that it's, you have to be like, you have to deliver, you have to be smart throughout your investment banking career, which is something that sounds exciting to me. So I was just very excited.
Fantastic. Now, if I were to ask you something like, what have been the difficult, the risky choices that you've made in life, the ones which paid off, the ones didn't pay off, so your failure moments, for people to, just remove the halo surrounding an All India rank 1, to drive home the point that an AIR 1 also has a normal life?
Actually, if I go into that, I will, it's, I would say for everybody, the CA journey has a lot of ups and downs. The CA course does not just test you on your knowledge, but it also tests you on your perseverance and a lot of other attributes, like it's a long drawn course, right? It doesn't get over like in college for 3 years, minimum 4 years, maximum how long you take. So I would say the first risky decision was doing CA. The second risky decision was choosing to do distance education for my undergrad. If you choose to do distance education, then you have to, qualify and all of that. It's just something I was confident in. So for me, I didn't consider that like as much as the risk. One thing I want to say is that after my third year of articleship, I was considering higher studies abroad. For some reason, like I had a little low point where I was wondering, okay, should I put in my 100% effort for CA finals and things like that? And I have two brothers who are in Canada. So they were like saying, okay, you can do your master's at some university, things like that. So that would be my lowest point where I was confused whether I still want to go for this or something that's outside India. I'll just be very candid, and it was a very difficult decision. Luckily, the pandemic made it easier for me. And because of pandemic, I was like, okay, I'm going to be staying in India for the next maybe 2 years. And I decided to give it my best for the attempt I wrote. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna be here, might as well make the most of it.
Fantastic. So the pandemic changed lives in some way. Otherwise, you would have been in Canada studying masters in some university and not CAIR1.
My family, we still talk about it, like how all this happened and how it turned out. It was definitely in CA, there's a lot of highs and lows. And I would, for my example, like I would wish, like it teaches you to be persistent. Like don't wander to different things. Just stay your course.
Any one whom you would like to thank in your journey all along this while?
Well, one would be too short. My mother, definitely. My parents and my family have been very supportive throughout the whole journey. Of course, I should not mention God. Throughout my CA finals, I was always praying because it's a course where you need support with you. I would suggest having a good support system. I had a friend who cleared his CA finals. His name is Siddhant. He was like my mentor. I feel like every student needs someone to speak to who's cleared the exam. So I give a lot of credit to him, like just calling him saying, well, this paper didn't go very well. What should I do? And to hear words from someone who's cleared is very comforting. My uncle, who was a CA, he supported me a lot. He used to, for my before my exam, he would come home and mentor me. Yeah, that's about all I can think of now.
A final question: what would your message be to A, aspiring rank holders, and B, to people who are stuck in CA, multiple attempts, still stuck, and now maybe at a stage of life where there's a point of no return? So,
okay, I will split this to aspiring rankers. I think loving your subjects and wanting to learn, like rank is a byproduct. No, I mean, sort of, rank is a byproduct of you studying well and presenting your answers well. So your focus should be more on learning the subject to the best you can. And also what's very important, and I don't want anybody to neglect, is the presentation. So those two things go hand in hand. That's something I'll sum it up that way. And to people who are still writing the exams and having a lot of attempts, well, you have to find out what you're doing wrong to begin with, because it's definitely an exam where you can pass. There are so many people who pass every year. People say that CA is tough, but when you write the exam, don't have that mindset. It will do you no good. Think about the people who have cleared and say, okay, if they've cleared, even I can clear. And another tip would be, forget you've written multiple attempts. Give that attempt you're writing as your last. Like say, this is all or nothing, and really mean that. And just, I would say keep persevering because it's worth it, at the end when you qualify.
And one quick question that I missed. What has been your daily life as an investment banker? How many hours? What do you do? Financial modeling, pitch deck? How have been your seniors? Just quickly.
Well, I don't know, it's too soon to say because I just joined last week. It's been in the last week that I've joined, I've still learned a lot. The hours I'm noticing that the hours for my teammates are long. It's, they say that investment banking averages 16 hours a day. It lives up to that. But in general, it's a very friendly atmosphere is what I'm feeling. It's an atmosphere to learn. And to me right now, it sounds very exciting and promising.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ruth, for such an insightful information. Thank you so much. I'm sure that the audience is going to really benefit from this.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for having me.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.